All right. Good morning. So today is day 3 of making an at least 8-minute Bob Proctor style speech, original speech, until somebody hires me to speak. So again, no AI was used in the production of this video. This is 100% original creative content from my own studies. So let's get into it. Good morning. Today we are going to talk about environment. Now, environment itself is not a law of achievement, nor is it a higher faculty of the mind. However, environment does represent something fundamental about how we are operating. See, there's our physical environment and there's our mental environment. Most people walking around today could not describe to you their mental environment. And if they are able to tell you anything, they will often tell you about the stress, anxiety, and other negative things that are going on in their mind. If you ask the same people if they were happy with their physical environment, they would likely describe to you the same emotions that they just stated a moment earlier. It took a long time for me to understand the physical nature of how manifestation works. Of course, it comes from the higher dimensions, but I think a lot of people still have this idea in their head that manifestation is simply having things appear in the physical world by some miraculous thought, and by that miraculous thought, everything that they ever wanted will be given to them, and the game will be over. Then I can rest, once I manifest this or that. I don't think people are aware, or maybe they just don't want to be aware, of how physical action is still the mode by which changes are made. We make the mental activity change, and then we determine our physical action, which produces the results in the physical world. What I'm saying here is that the physical environment is a manifestation of your mind. The easiest way to see this is to look at your room. What state is it in? Maybe it's 90% clean. Maybe it's a total mess. Either way, when we make the decision that we're going to have a 100% clean room, that is what prompts the physical action of cleaning up. We do that and we feel better. In addition, making that decision often allows us to make more decisions. For example, oh, I don't need that shirt anymore. We can get rid of that dresser. This feels good. I'm gonna make, cleaning my room a habit. Now, I think we all get this concept when it comes to our room and other very logical means of manifestation. However, when it comes to our mind and creating the environment we want around us, the magnitude of such a thing baffles us and tests our belief. Resolve, confidence, faith, persistence, and more. If there's one thing I have found, it is that breaking the mental paradigm of what environment you are currently in is one of the hardest things to do. Personally, I thought that moving out of state would change my environment. Well, it changed my physical environment, but it didn't change my mental environment. Same thing. I thought that getting a new job would change it, No, same thing. Not that either. I even thought that pushing people away out of negativity would rid myself of the perceived curses they threw at me. Nope, not that either. Goes kind of back to the whole concept I was talking about yesterday is we gotta choose, or maybe 2 days ago. See, when we go to change our mind in order to change our outside environment, we probably know the changes that need to happen, or at least some of them. We probably know the people that need to go, the couch that we just don't like, the comforter that we don't like, the air conditioning isn't strong enough. How big is the house? How big is the yard? How many trees are there? How do you feel in your workplace? Do you feel comfortable? Do you like your boss? Do you like your coworkers? Are you accepting a certain level of negativity in your life because you don't understand or you don't have faith in your mind's ability to deliver you a greater good? We must have faith. We must make a decision. That is the only way that we can see if maybe that's out there for us. It won't happen by chance. Especially when it comes to people. See, Bob said once that people don't resist change. The matter is, once you change, they are forced to adapt to that change, and they don't want to do that. They want you to come back to where they are. They want you to stay stuck in the loop of trauma that you both shared. And nothing, I mean nothing, is more comforting than returning back to that place. It feels like home. It feels like something you know. And I think we are still trained to associate that comfort with good. Well, I want you to start getting uncomfortable in your environment. I want you to start realizing the nature abhors a vacuum, and so you need to make an irrevocable decision that you are going to make the changes you desire within your own mind. You need to stick to it. Anyone who disrespects that or tries to bring you back to a lower vibration, you don't yell out in anger, you don't resist them. You accept. You say, I enjoyed all of my time in that environment, but it is time for me to move on. It is time for me to change this and that. And our relationship, whether romantic or friendly, had a lot of negatives that I can no longer live with. I believe there's a greater purpose out there waiting for me, and it doesn't include blank. For me, it doesn't include video games. It doesn't include marijuana, It doesn't include, what might that be in your own life, Maybe it doesn't include alcohol. It doesn't include mistreating my body. It doesn't include going to sleep after midnight, I'm not here to tell you what to change in all of your life. I'm here to tell you that there's probably a program within you that knows exactly how you want to live, truly in your highest expression, and you're not taking action that you could be taking in order to get that outcome. For many times, I quit these things, but they always came back. I always knew in my mind they weren't serving my higher good. I even went an entire year without marijuana and moved to Texas, got a new job, was living life, etc. But I never rid myself of the paradigm. Whether it takes a week, month, year, or more, if you don't conquer that paradigm, you will find yourself in the same mental environment, no matter where you are physically located, and that mental environment must reveal the same exact thing you were in before. Exactly how it does that, that's a little bit more of a mystery, I would say. I think the reason I finally conquered it was that I created the vacuum and I decided what I wanted to put into its place. I decided what I wanted my environment to look like. Rather than saying I just don't want that in my environment, I said I want to get that out and I want to bring this in, No longer was my motto, I'm quitting weed and video games, but rather, I'm going to free up time to study more, to love more, to be more present with myself and others, to share, to read, and to live. Past environments will do anything they can. They will play the deepest games with your mind to try and convince you that they deserve to live and exist in your kingdom. Now, in a mystical sense, we talk about demons and hell and heaven, and the environment, the paradigm can be viewed as its own sort of demon, and demons feed off of fear, all right? And so what they're doing here is they're trying to bring you back to comfort so that you can bring back the same fears you had while you were within that comfort, all right? Because comfort is not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss, all right? If you don't understand something, you're going to be subject to the forces. And when you're in that environment that provokes comfort, but you already made the decision in the past that it wasn't serving you because of the other things that were coming along with it, it's inevitable that those same things are going to still be there, right? It's interesting how long we can go thinking that we made the paradigm shift when really it is just a matter of time before we go back to those old habits. Because we didn't make an irrevocable decision. We made a decision to try something and see if it works out. But if it doesn't, I can always go back to this or that. I can always come home. This might even be operating at a totally subconscious level within you. Past environments have their own paradigms attached to them. That is why even being in a certain physical environment can trigger a return to a past paradigm. When you do return to these environments, as you inevitably will at one point or another for a test, because the universe seems to send us tests when we least expect them, you must know how to deal with it. Send that place love for the progress and role it played in your life, and thank God that you are now free from that negative attachment. If you see people from the past, give them love just the same. Don't judge them necessarily. Don't put yourself on a pedestal. And that's already over 8 minutes. So, thank you, and we'll talk tomorrow.